Welcome back to another weekly GMBN Tech Show. Coming up on this week's show, we check out some stuff from the World Cup, including some new Maxxis tyres. There's a DT fork prototype we've seen on Matthias Flückiger's bike, and plenty of great stuff from you lot. Okay, let's kick it off straight into news then. So tell us a bit about this new Maxxis tyre that we've both kind of spotted.
Yeah, so around the pits at Leogang, there was a custom tyre, unnamed, with just G'day mate written on the sidewalls for Troy Brosnan. Now, Maxxis seem to be going down this road of kind of personal or custom tyres, just like Greg Minnaar had with the Assegai.
Yeah, of course.
And it looks pretty cool. It looks quite similar to a DH22 by Michelin, sort of really burly, aggressive downhill tyre.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
So he runs a DHR2 quite a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he ran it for his race one though. The DHR2 would be perfect because the smaller profile of the tyre, it would lean and roll less in high speed turns. So it looks really, really cool. Super aggressive. I'd love to see one in the flesh, really. Interesting how they go with that.
It does make me wonder though, with all these custom tyres for pros who've got very specific needs, how well that suits like us as consumers.
Yes.
Because they've done such a good job with like the high rollers and the minions, front and rear for so long. Like, do we need all these other tyres?
I mean, if you think maybe even 5 years ago, Maxxis is, I feel like the amount of tyres they offered was about half. And if you look at a company like Schwalbe or Kendall, they make great tyres, but they have a far more limited, and sometimes it's like a paradox of choice, that you get overwhelmed by choice, you know what I mean?
Sometimes it simplifies it by not having that.
Yeah, totally, yeah. And it's interesting because when I was in Queenstown over the summer, I saw the Specialized guys doing a lot of testing with Specialized in their own tyres, and they're doing a variety of rubber compounds. But we actually saw on Loic's bike, he was running Maxxis tyres, unbranded. I think there's a bit of paint going on the sidewalls there.
Yeah, the trusty Sharpie going on.
Yeah, he was running a mixture of the DHR2 and the DHR front, the standard minion. So that's really cool, and it'd be interesting to see that with all, even the Assegai and all these new tyres coming out, kind of the old faithfuls are still holding true.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can't last forever. They've got to update them as riding changes and tyre volumes already changing and putting bigger sidewalls on them.
Yeah, and also it's sometimes there's too much of a good thing. In 2017, Schwalbe went to a far softer compound when they released their Addicts.
Yeah.
And it kind of, for people like me, that just kind of cruise around the trails, it was great, incredible grip. But for the real hard races, they were getting too much tyre roll on the side knobs.
Yeah.
So then they had to go to the harder compound, which then didn't have the tacky surface. So it's kind of a can of worms in some ways.
Yeah, I guess that's where the whole multiple compound thing comes in. We have the harder base to support that. That we actually saw at the Vittoria factory with like the 4 compounds, which is sounds a bit too much, but actually it all makes perfect sense when you hear about the tech.
Incredibly technical, just how much goes into it for such, you'd think, quite a simple thing.
I reckon we need to do something with tyre tech. I'm not sure what. Well, see how much difference it makes having a single compound versus a quad versus a triple. And
I've got a friend, and he told me about this. I've got one friend.
You've got one friend.
My Facebook profile. One friend. But I said that because I don't want to name him. But he used to leave his. Well, he said he once left some minions in brake cleaner overnight. Sorry, like white spirit overnight. And it degraded them to such a point where he was getting about 2 or 3 runs until they were pretty much unusable. But he lent them to his friend who got an uncharacteristic 4th place at Nationals, and he was a mid-pack wide, and they were just like, oh my God. But they kept blowing carcasses a lot. So that could be cool, just leaving tyres and letting them degrade. You can go wider, mate. I'll leave it to you.
I was going to say, I'll just ride a box fresh tyre personally and leave that one to you. Okay, let's move on to Loic's bike actually, because there's plenty of cool stuff on there. Of course, he's now committed to running 29-inch front wheels, so he finally suits his Instagram handle with the 27.5 out back. It seems to work for him.
Yes, no, it wasn't holding him back, was it?
He looks fantastic.
He was not scared.
Yeah.
But also in Loic's bike, he's got alloy frame, alloy bars, alloy wheels, and actually quite, we talk about these new standards coming through, these new ideas in terms of engineering. By the extremes that some people go to, relatively narrow rims. He's got 31.8 handlebars, and it just goes to show if you're having a good weekend, it probably doesn't matter.
I kind of wonder as well. So with a lot of carbon frames, obviously they can be very precise and very stiff, but they don't always sort of translate what's going on the trail to you, whereas alloy does.
Yes.
And I wonder perhaps Loic might be that sort of rider. He likes the feedback from the trail.
Yes, maybe.
He wants to feel where his grip is, and feel, I've kind of always liked that aspect of riding as well. I don't want to feel too isolated that I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's funny, like when I go onto carbon wheels, I'm always just like, oh, that's the nicest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Then I don't really notice when I go back to Allo. I'm probably not nuanced enough a rider to be able to pick up that sort of difference like Loic perhaps is.
I don't know. I think you'd be surprised. I think if you had 3 or 4 different sets, you feel the difference.
Maybe,
Some of the stiffer brands, obviously, out of a turn, the speed you can get, but you take them into something rough, and you're like, oh my god, like this hurts. And the polar opposite with a softer set.
And I suppose as well, Devil's avocado again. Loic is limited by what he can run. Maybe he's isn't offered a handlebar in an oversize. Maybe isn't offered a, you know what I mean? So it's all very interesting.
Yeah, well, we'll pick this one up again soon. I noticed that you spotted a budget Giant, actually. That sounded pretty cool. So Giant, did you know the Giant is the biggest bike brand on earth?
Yeah. They must.
By name and nature. They're huge, yeah.
Were they ever called medium? And then they were like, actually, boys, we've had a good year. Time to really bring out the big uns.
Very good. Tell us a bit about it. So it's a stance, is that right?
So it's a stance. So it's got the same silhouette that you would normally expect from a Giant with their Maestro suspension. But if you look closely, it's not a full Maestro. It doesn't actually have the lower rocker link.
So they're doing what Trek have done on their latest bike. They've just got rid of the complications.
But I would say to the degree, because actually it doesn't have it relies on flex in the frame to work.
Okay, yeah. You see that with a lot of lightweight bikes.
Yeah, totally. And it's kind of like a budget bike, but also it's really, in its angles, it's not crazy aggressive, it's not super low and long and all that business. It actually just looks like a really easy bike to ride.
Fun.
And it's priced accordingly. It's a great beginner bike. I think it looks great.
So was it a 29-inch wheel?
29-inch wheel. 120 out back, which is actually the longest travel 29 a Giant have made. So maybe it's paving a way for a rain that people keep talking about. The transfer's only 115 mil, and I myself was a bit disheartened by that.
Yeah.
It's potentially maybe going that way.
The trans actually look really good. But,
it did look a lot of fun, actually.
To be fair, Giant have always made fantastic bikes. I do think they're the coolest they've been for a long time.
Yes.
At the moment, they used to be quite heavy on the graphics. Now they look a bit more subtle. And
bit classy.
I think they're doing a good thing. So definitely check out Giant if you want a bit of a bargain.
Also at Leogang, it got us a chance to show some new kind of helmet tech, well maybe actually not new tech, but a new way of presenting the tech. With Marine Cabirou's super flash fancy pants carbon helmet. It looks great.
Yeah, so that was the custom respray on there as well. Was that the one?
Yes, yeah.
So, yeah.
And there's a bit of a running joke about how much she looks like Aya Stark, what a strong resemblance that is.
Actually really does.
Yeah, similar.
I didn't believe it until Warner said that on the Red Bull live feed. I had to check it out.
Yeah, it's quite uncanny.
It is, yeah.
So yes, she got this custom helmet. It looks great, all chrome and black. And she's actually going through a lot of custom helmets at the moment. Her sponsor, Monkey Sauce, seem to be just wheeling out these amazing helmets, and long may it continue, hopefully for the rest of the season.
The custom thing's great.
Yeah.
It does showcase a product really well, and it gives it a bit of individuality.
And have you ever seen any of their frame wraps?
No, I haven't. Did you say the weird name company? Monkey
Sauce. Yeah, we're not going to go too deeply into that.
Yeah.
But look at this. I'm pretty sure it's a stump jumper. It just looks incredible. So tidy.
That does look amazing. Look at the detail on that frame.
Yeah,
wow.
Super nice.
Let's do something on cool custom bikes as well.
Yeah.
I think we'll hold that one. If you've seen any particularly cool custom frames or custom helmets, resprays, anything like that, tip us off in those comments underneath, and we'll do something cool later on. Something else that's been doing the rounds is Matthias Fluckiger's bike. So the rider basically is well renowned for having DT forks on his bike, and the DT forks tend to have the arch on the back. But as we've seen on the F535, which I checked out quite a while back actually on the GMBN Tech Show, it's got a brace on the front now, and of course it's got a very different damping system in there. It's quite a meaty looking fork.
Yeah.
So it has position sensitive damping as opposed to speed sensitive. So it means it's like so supple because there's essentially no damping to start with until you get to a certain point and damping kicks in. Which I'm still on the fence with that with a big off-road fork. But with the smaller off-road fork for cross-country, I think you could get loads of traction, grip and comfort with that. And this is it on the screen now. And if you look at this other picture, you'll see the regular DT fork you're seeing on XC Pro's bikes, which looks quite weedy by comparison. And it definitely shows what's going on with cross-country at the moment.
Yeah, it does indeed. I think it's great to see. Like, I love DT because they have often taken a very unconventional approach. But this fork does look, like you said, so much kind of cleaner, and I don't know, maybe it's just what I'm used to, but it does look like a great fork.
Okay, so it's not necessarily a new tech piece of news, but I just wanted to draw your attention actually to the new Garmin 830. So this is one that's got a touchscreen on it, and amongst all the cool settings on it, there's something I accidentally discovered it had, or I hadn't turned off. So it's got an SOS feature on there. Now, I know you know about this, but we'll get there in a minute. So I was going down a trail and I did a jump or hit a rock or whatever I did, and suddenly I heard the siren going off on my phone in my bag. And I didn't get to it in time to turn it off. And basically it sent an SOS message to my wife from here via my phone, and it sends GPS coordinates.
You shredded, Doddy. You're just hitting stuff too hard, man.
But I think it's really cool. Have a look on screen and you see this little pinpoint, and that's the message that came up on the screen.
It does look cool.
I think that's like a phenomenal idea for the right sort of riding.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't, obviously I was riding something rough enough that it set the alarm off, but I think that's amazing to have that tech if you're going to ride alone. Yeah,
because I've got a 530 and I had what I thought was a season ender. I was basically just like, dig me a hole. Like, I am done.
So it's full yard sale.
Oh my God, in front of a big load of people. I just blew a hand going warp speed, like got high side. I mean, I fell a long time, and these people were just thinking, who is this absolute punter? So I'm there like, when and my Garmin's going off like, he's dead. He's definitely, I'm pretty sure it just said on the screen, like, game over. And I'm there like, I'm okay.
Send the Hearst.
Yeah, pretty much. It was so embarrassing. But I live to tell the tale somehow. I think I'm a bit concussed, but it's all right. But yeah.
It's fine. You never noticed that.
Yeah, no, it was quite an experience.
But it's pretty cool, isn't it? To have features like that. There's also a bike alarm feature on this. I think I might delve into a few of these little features and see what sort of hacks video we could do to get the most out of like tech as opposed to physical mountain bike stuff, because there's enough digital tech out there. I think we could all do with learning a bit better. If you've got any requirements for perhaps GoPros or anything like that, or Garmin's or whatever, let us know in the comments and we'll see what we can drag up for you.
So now it is time for Bike Cave, which is the section where we show your bikes, where you work on them, where you store them, and we love to see them, don't we?
100% love Bike Cave.
Yeah, just keep sending them in, don't be shy, because it's always cool to read out some stuff. And first of all this week, we're going to show Liam's from Tasmania. Now this is
down in Tas.
Incredibly clean, it's incredibly cool, it looks like the workshop from the Death Star. And I can only presume he's got the eyes of a mole to be able to see what's going on in there.
Oh,
because
awesome.
Some of it is dark, but my word, doesn't it look clean?
It does, it looks mega.
It looks sensational. And he's actually says here that about suggestion for a work stand. And they Park actually make a black one. It is the...
What, it's not Park Tool Blue?
It is Park Tool Blue, or accented Park Tool Blue, but it's the PR S25. And just for the colour alone, it would be in keeping with the tone.
Clearly, yeah, you've got to have the black work stand.
And it looks so good, man. And he's installed his bike so efficiently. Everything is just
neat,
top drawer. Yeah. Night vision goggles, eat your carrots. But my word, it looks good.
I reckon you could do with some sort of neon lights in there. You could jazz it up a bit.
Oh, yeah. But I honestly, if you took the bikes out of there, I thought that would have been some trendy bar. You know what I mean? Like, if someone charged me like £6 for a gin and tonic, I'd be like, I wouldn't blink. I'd be like, oh, that sounds about right.
So I could invite you around and charge you £6 for a gin and tonic in my workshop.
Let's just backtrack out of this.
£5.50. Yeah. All right, who we got next then?
Sweet, so we got John from Asheville, who's awesome. And the standard this week is very high. Like, it's really, really quite nice. So he's got, yet again, really efficient storage of bikes, but just look at that toolboard. I can't believe it. It's unreal. Like, everything's not just pinned on there, but bespoke made holdings.
Yeah, there's everything in there as well.
Really good. He's also got, I think, a hose reel footline for a compressor. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which is, I mean, you've just outdone yourself. I don't know what to say.
Also into woodworking as well, I guess, looking at the woodwork vice he's got on the front.
Yeah.
Where's your metalwork vice? Get one of them in there too.
Yeah.
I like the drill holder. That's cool.
Really nice, eh? And the way all his bikes are stored. I mean, he's got very comprehensive garage of bikes as well. He's got the cyclocross bikes. He's got the fat bikes. He's got the mountain bikes. So pretty much...
Got the pivot down the back there as well.
Yeah. Any eventuality, he's well covered for.
Although I can see a unicycle lent up in the corner.
Oh. I thought we could be friends, but
I'm unsure how I feel about that. I can ride a unicycle.
I mean,
They're quite good fun, to be fair.
Oh, very fair. Nice.
But I'm just not sure I ever would.
Yeah, I was willing to overlook the fat bikes, but the unicycle.
Hey, fat bikes
deep.
are good. Blake will break the door down any minute. He loves a fat bike. He's got a bit of a quiet obsession with them. So that Canyon fat bike he used to have, or he tells everyone he used to have, he actually still has it. He took it back to Isle of Wight, and I know he rides it quite a lot. He loves them. Hey, no, seriously, John, that's an awesome workshop.
Sensational.
Love it. Looks great.
Really good.
Let us know what that compressor reel is. I mean, like Henry says, it looks like it's a hose reel with a compressor. Be nice to know. Very cool. Keep those entries coming in, guys. Okay, now it's time for Rewind, which is the old bit of the show where I talk about old stuff. Pretty much. I love the retro stuff because not just because it's cool and old, but it means we've come a long way since those days, and the stuff what we have now is really good. Now, you might have noticed over on GMBN I did a retro video and I was wearing this old thing.
Oh, baby.
Troy Lee Edge helmet. Now it's kind of actually not that far off the sort of open face helmets people are wearing now.
Can I just
bit moto?
make a very quick observation?
Yeah.
Right. Back to front. High-end aero road helmet. Look at that.
We have nothing in common. Nothing in common.
What? They were ahead of the game.
But what I did want to draw your attention to was the catalogue that I found in the bottom of the box. An original Troy Lee Designs catalogue from 1994. And this is so cool. It's got all of the old school stuff in here. And it actually looks, it's so old, it's new. Troy Lee Designs tracksuit bottoms, plaid shirts, custom helmet decals, beanies. It's so old, it looks new. I think you guys should bring out a range like this, like a heritage range.
Are you sure this isn't just an item for item checklist of Rob Warner's wardrobe?
It pretty much
pretty
is.
sure it's everything.
It's got Dave Weens in there, which is he's in better shape than Warner.
Yeah.
He doesn't dye his hair like Rob.
He's got the strawberries and ice cream look that I work as well.
He has, yeah. He's definitely got a road thing. But so that was Dave Weens' helmet down the bottom there. That was John Tomax, Bob Rolls, I reckon, and that was Greg Herbold's. One of the racers back in the day.
Super cool.
And if you couldn't get the custom helmet because you want a Troy Lee Designs rider, you used to get the stickers, the feathers kits, which cost a fortune back in the day, but they were so cool.
Yes. Nice.
It's just nice to see and just random to find out the bottom of the old boxer.
Yeah.
But so old, it's new.
Yeah.
So I was having a little scour around on Instagram, and there's a guy called Steve Kitchen, brother of Robin Kitchen, both of which used to race for the Animal PlayStation team back in the day.
Right.
So Steve Kitchen now has got a bike repairing company called the Bicycle Kitchen. See where he's going with that. It's super cool. This is his Instagram on screen, so make sure you follow that for some really cool nostalgic stuff, including this post which he's just put up in reference to the old sort of pit setup they used to have. They used to have the biggest setup, the biggest rig back in the day. And because they were sponsored by Sony PlayStation, they used to have loads of PlayStation controllers hanging off the side of the thing.
Yeah.
It is absolutely immense. And like considering like this beginning shot here, it's next to the SRAM grip shift truck. And SRAM pretty much have the biggest trucks on the scene. So it shows you how big Team Animal Orange was back in the day.
Yeah.
So cool to see. Steve, if you're watching this, keep them coming. We love looking at this stuff. And just as a little thing from the side, what you can see hanging up on the stands, I think they're Orange Patriots, maybe the red, white ones.
Yeah.
Can't quite see from this angle. But Tim Ponting, who used to race on that very team, he's just built up a 222 or whatever the modern equivalent is in exactly the same colourway, painted up by Fat Creations.
Wow.
And I want to see if we can get hold of Tim and do a retro modern with him, because he's still got a full set of the original kit. And Tim is an absolute sender. He's so fast and so stylish. So hopefully we can hook that one up.
Very cool.
And he's going to be at the Malverns, hopefully.
Yeah.
He was last year, as far as I know.
And never mind just the bikes. I'm impressed with the welds on that stand. There's 5 of them hanging up, and they
immense.
weren't light.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, so it's more super cool stuff. So
unreal though.
Be sure to check out the Bicycle Kitchen.
Love it.
Cool, what else we got?
Sweet. So from Ben and Victoria, we have some real old school 25-year-old Shimano shoes.
Oh.
Now, I think this shows
I remember these things.
Yeah. And it shows long before, enduro was an industry buzzword. They were making rugged, hard-wearing, kind of gravity-orientated shoes.
Yeah.
And I think they look great. And I think they still look really stylish. I can imagine Kanye kicking about in a set of these and no problem whatsoever.
You mean Kanye?
I'm pretty sure his first name's Kenneth. I'm pretty sure Kenye's an abbreviation.
You're such a plonker.
Yeah, Kanye West. That's what they call him that. But it's not Kenneth, is it?
Back out of the Kanye thing. But, yeah, I do remember the shoes. Right, and they are pretty cool, actually.
No, totally. And we do love everything from Rewind. I mean, it's so cool. It's sometimes a shame because we get so many great suggestions and we can't get them all in the show. But we do try and work through them. We do love getting them in, and we always share them around the office and stuff. So we do keep sending them, you know?
100%. And just a reminder, there's the uploader right there. So please tell us a bit about yourselves and what it is you're sending in. Or if you don't know, ask us and we'll try and trawl up and find out what it is for you. Okay, now it's time for Top Mods, which is usually about where you guys talk about all the cool stuff you've done to your bikes. But this week, we need your help. We're going to be building a new tech set. Now that Henry's here full time with us, we want to do some cool stuff. And as you might have noticed, this is the first thing that's going to be going on. So you might have noticed we referenced a really cool workshop in Bike Cave actually a little while back.
Yes, of course, yes.
And the guys at Full Factory Suspension had these optics on the wall, but instead of putting alcohol in them, they had like fork oils and stuff like that, and they had them mounted on the wall. So they've actually very kindly given us one of these, so we're going to modify this and put it on the wall. And something I am actually going to do, a friend of mine has a bar called Juno, and he's got some frames mounted on the wall as lights.
So
cool. We've got some old warranty frames that have been cracked or whatever. We're going to do exactly the same, but if anyone's got any ideas, we'd love to know how you think we should have our set for the next like Mark II version of the tech set.
Yeah, ambitions are pretty lofty. I'm trying to rein it in, you know. Just I think you need a degree in civil engineering for some of the things.
Well, we did discuss the camelback boudoir.
Oh my god!
Having a fish tank made out of hydration packs.
So cool, like in the wall, different chambers they could go in, and we could have like Shark Wallace and Aaron Finn. I mean, it's just. What's not to love?
Aaron Finn. Oh, that is a new low.
There's already Finn Isles, but he just gets completely looked over.
But very good. I've got to say you caught me out with that.
There's got to be other ones.
I'm sure there's a load.
Fish names.
Any fish names for people? Yeah, let us know. It's down there. But on a serious note, we want to make it look a bit more fun, a bit more tech. If you've got any ideas, what you'd like us to see, let us know. And also, we're interested in changing the format for our weekly show up a bit as well. But we're going to do that all at once. We'll have a new show format and a new set. And so give us any suggestions you have for how to make it look, anything you think would look cool on the wall, maybe some cool furniture we should have, anything like that. And whilst you're at it, let us know if there's anything you think we're leaving out of our weekly show, because we'd like to tailor that a little bit more to you guys, because it's your show.
Yeah, I mean, a small preface to that. There's a lot of comments on my videos about ASMR. And I looked it up, and it's the weirdest thing in the world. It makes me quite uncomfortable.
What is it?
It's like just people. It's audio sensory something or other, and it's people with like doing like voices like this and
That's
eating noodles. Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, now it's time for Tech of the Week. As you can see in front of me, I've got the new Alchemy Arctos 29. This is the bike that you'll see Cody Kelly spending a lot of time on the back wheel on, a very lively bike. So this one is the size XL, running a 483mm reach on the front end here, well 483mm reach. Out back it's running 438.5mm chainstay, so nice and playful, but you still got your weight bias to the centre of the bike. 160mm up front, 140 out back. Now the thing that's really cool about the Alchemy Arctos design is it uses the Cine suspension system. Now the name itself comes from Dave Earle, who is a designer, and he named it that because it represents a Cine that you see on a graph. Now the thing that's different to this to other bikes on the market is it starts regressive, it gets progressive to support your weight, but then also towards the very end of the stroke, which on an air shock is naturally very progressive, it goes slightly regressive again to ensure that you're going to use all of that travel. The effect to that, as well as being incredibly supportive, is the fact that it feels like it's got a lot more travel than it actually has, yet it pedals like a bike with a lot less travel. Very active back end on here, very minimal chainstay growth, very aggressive bike. And in fact, the colour, I'm not sure what you'd call this, I'm going to go with aggressive nutmeg. No idea what the real colour is called, but I think it looks really cool. And I know that Blake would love a bike that looked like this to go with his Jeep. It looks really cool. Previously, you could only buy these in the States. They're now available in the UK. Very cool new bikes. Oh, and Dave Earl, in case you weren't aware, and you might spot some similarities here, is he'd also designed, as well as Santa Cruz and various other suspension platforms, he'd actually designed the stuff for Yeti, like the SB system and that. So very cool to see it on these really high-end bikes. And I've got to say, the finish, absolutely fantastic on it. Looks really cool. Okay, there's another weekly GMBN Tech Show in the bag. Don't forget to let us know what you thought in the comments down there. In the meantime, I'm going to throw you to our Essentials playlist. And if you've got any requests for other Essentials videos for us to make, let us know in those comments.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw to the tech takeover of the Dirt Shed show, which was a lot of fun going into rarefied air. So click there to sample that one there.
Don't forget to give us a thumbs up as always, and click that subscribe button if you've not already done it.
And don't look up ASMR.
I don't know what you think about the roadie thing, but you definitely like that mushroom thing from Mario Brothers.
Oh, yes.